Hey everyone, welcome to the official/unofficial, I don't know what to call it, but it's the first ever pilot episode of the Peters Around Us, a podcast I'm trying to start where it's basically about I talk to people in my life, people who are popular online or whatever, popularity varies, because the point of this podcast is that it's all based off of you don't know who I'm talking to exactly, they're hidden behind a Peter Ranger mask like I am, but it's more about like listening to their stories, their words, and you, the viewer, judging how, if you want to form your own opinion about them regardless if they have a reputation online or not, and you will see the value in it for you personally. So that's what the show is. This episode was supposed to be released in October. It wasn't because scheduling issues, timing, and stuff. And I'm small-time YouTuber, small-time Twitch streamer, so things get like complicated. Editing takes a long time, and I have a life to deal with and a 9-to-5 job. So that being said, that's why this episode came on after Halloween. So this is a Halloween somewhat themed episode, but still geared towards the theme of the episode, as it will mention in the intro later on. I do mention later on this is called the Peter Podcast, which is wrong. This is actually the Peters Around Us. I was jumping between two names, but I've settled on the Peters Around Us. So anyways, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this. There will be more episodes in the future. I can't promise when, but I do have recordings ready. I just got to edit them down. And this is just a podcast about people with similar problems, interesting professions, and just overall good value of life and advice they can hand off to you. Because the idea of the show is that everyone has value realistically, and we all kind of get blinded by the fact if someone's famous or popular or not, so we feel like the little one that no one cares about if we don't have a large following. So this is a show to remind people that you have value, and to know that, here are examples throughout every episode of people just like you, popular or not, who are all doing the thing. They're just doing their thing in life, and they're overcoming things just as you might be one day. And hopefully you find some use out of all these episodes as they show up from time to time. So hope you enjoy. Welcome to the Peter Podcast, everybody, the show where people are masked, named Peter. I'm Peter, my guests are Peter, but you might find out who they are by the end of the show if they choose to reveal it. Because this show, we focus on what people are, their stories, and let you, the viewer, judge on what to think about them. I don't know if they're interesting to you. You see, you don't care about who they are online or not. Anyways, today is a special friend of mine, a guest, if you will. They are known online for doing some quite interesting, very cool, spooky sometimes, digital art. They are an artist, online freelance artist, and today we are going to talk about their struggles, their journey, things they've noticed in the art community, and also, because it's Halloween month, we're going to do some spooky talk about some customs, some Halloween stuff, and some Dead by Daylight stuff by the end, so stick around for that. So, without further ado, I introduce Spooky Ranger Peter, the first ever spin-off Ranger. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. I really wish I had a theremin so I could introduce myself that way. Can you just edit in a theremin in post?
A theremin? What?
A theremin. You know that fucking instrument? It's like. That'd be fucking rad. But no, I'm doing okay. I just woke up. I got a sandwich. I got a soda. I'm good.
Oh, that's awesome. Sandwich and soda. Is it's Halloween month? Is it orange?
No, it's meatballs.
Wait, meatballs? What? Your soda?
Yeah. No, fuck.
Okay.
That's sandwich. I don't know why I thought you.
Did you say you had a soda
sandwich
with you?
I did, yeah. I don't know why I thought you meant the sandwich was orange.
What flavor is the soda then?
It's limeade.
All right, Spooky Ranger. So I think we should start off real quick by talking about how we know each other. So what do you remember how we met?
Pretty sure we met in Halo 3 custom games, right?
Yeah, and that was 10 years ago, 2007?
Nah, it was 11 at least.
11? Okay, so roughly, yeah, okay. So yeah, we met through a mutual friend through Xbox. And we had a friend group back then, and I live in Canada, so
we made a really cringy Halo machinima.
Well, no, it's cringy now, but at the time,
kind of endearing.
It is kind of endearing because you can kind of look back on those old episodes. Anyways, that's going to be something for another episode, another discussion, another time.
Oh, definitely.
But we did meet we met through a group of friends online through Xbox, and 10 years later, we were still meeting up. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there was a huge gap in between though, but then it was a journey to find my long lost twin brother.
Oh my god, exactly.
And I found out my long lost twin butter. My long lost twin butter does Twitch streams.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky because I went by an older name.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and now I'm doing a whole totally random thing you would never expect because it's all
based
based
doing
off
a whole new brand.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, yeah, new brand. Oh, wink, wink. Okay.
It was
Yeah.
a segue. You weren't supposed to bring it
I
up. God
no,
damn
no.
it.
I know. That's why I like to mention it. For those who don't know, we're going off a script here. Obviously, you got to keep it professional because the script literally said thoughts on the whole Peter Ranger brand. Yeah, because that was kind of a shocker, right? Because well, not a shocker, but like surprised. I don't know. What'd you think when you found out I'm a Blue Ranger Peter now?
Well, when I heard that you were doing like Twitch streams and stuff, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then like I saw like it was like Power Rangers. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was into Power Rangers. And I checked it out, and you've literally never even seen Power Rangers.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, it was all a stupid little joke one day. Yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of crazy how we met up that way. And then I found out you're doing freelance art and stuff, and like you know you got your little community there and everything. It's cool to see like you know you're pursuing the arts. So yeah. So speaking of art, being a freelance artist, so what? Actually, let's start from the beginning. What got you into art? I know a lot of people get into art, but you know, what age
If
roughly?
if you're asking like why I got started,
Yeah, yeah.
it was because of Ed's World. Like when I was a kid, I like discovered his videos, and I literally just like made like his videos in like really shitty like drawing comics like on like line paper, but it was with me and my friends. Literally, I would like watch a video and then I would just draw the video, but instead of the It's World characters, it was me and my friends.
Oh, so recreation, but your own style
Yeah,
of
I was
like
like
you and your
11 or
friends.
10 at the time.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So,
yeah. I grew up with Ed's World too, so that's cool to know. I didn't know that. Wow, that's interesting. So,
did
yeah,
you
so
hear
that's
that
fun.
they're making new videos?
Yes, they are. Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that was just like a fun.
That's really weird to me.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun little promo, and then yeah, it turns out they're sticking to it. So let's see what else they make. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So over the years, at what point did you think like you know you felt like this is kind of a hard gray little area, but do you feel like at some point you felt good enough to start selling your art, or did you just say screw it, let's see if someone buys it type thing? Like, how did you feel about that
Oh,
when you
it was
started?
definitely the latter. Like there's like a thing if you're getting into art, like the general rule of thumb is like you're never gonna think you're good enough to do anything. Like at some point you just gotta do it.
That's fair, yeah, because they say experts, like even the biggest artists, they just never stop and they never think they're the best ever. So yeah, constant journey. So in that case, I noticed in your art, it's quite a spooky aesthetic. You got orange, you got purple. What else do you need? So why? So
No,
tell
no,
me.
that's really it.
I
That's
know.
all you need. You just need to make things orange and purple.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I think it'd be important to state out that you have a bunch of characters. Like what your main character is named what again? Sorry.
Pumpkin.
Literally just Pumpkin.
Yep, that's just her name. I mean, it's not her real name, but that's what she goes by.
Okay, so what's her real? Oh, does she have a hidden real name? You can't reveal.
I haven't really decided yet. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal,
Oh,
but
fair.
I don't know. Just in case it is, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, because so in other words, you have some characters lined up. They kind of have the spooky Halloween aesthetic to it. So were they like over the years you started with one character than the other, or did they all kind of come around the same time, or?
Yeah, actually, the conception of it was pretty weird and kind of cringe, honestly, because the first time I ever made Pumpkin, she like was like just a girl with like a pumpkin for a head,
Oh,
and she was like one of like a cast of characters that I made for like an idea for like a visual romance like novel. And it was really fucking bad. And then I just like scrapped the whole thing, but I really liked Pumpkin's design, so I kept her. And then she just like evolved over time.
visual romance. So it wasn't like any spin off of fan fiction, was it?
No, it was just like when I was a kid, I would be reading like visual novels and shit, and I'm like, I want to make my own, and so I like started to like draw one down on like paper and pencil and like wrote ideas and stuff. But it
Okay.
was really fucking bad because I was only like 10 or 11 at the time.
Oh, fair enough. But as the years went on, you kept her around and you changed the pumpkin head to like her being like just a human girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you had your other characters. Did they come from the fact that you made that one character Pumpkin and then you thought this is something I'll stick with, and then you thought, well, they need more characters. Let's make something here, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much how I went. Like I had Pumpkin, and I'm like, I really like her design a lot. And then like originally I wasn't gonna go with like her for like my comic. Like my first idea was like I wanted to make an animation with these characters. And then over time I realized like, oh, these characters are like I have like nothing here. I have like a few sort of interesting characters with no story. And I
Mhm.
also don't know how to fucking animate. I still don't know how to animate. I went from that and I was like, okay, I'll make a comic. And
Okay.
it still wasn't Pumpkin. It was like a whole group of like kids that like wanted to make a video game.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't know how interesting this is actually gonna be. And then And then I was like, okay, I'll make a beginner comic to prepare myself for the real comic. And then that's when Pumpkin came into the picture. I started making a comic with her.
So
Then I made characters for that comic, and then now it's just like my main thing.
so that first comic was it that romantic type thing you were talking about, or was it something totally different?
Oh no, like the animation, like the first thing I wanted to do, like whenever I started getting into drawing, was like make a little animated like web series, like
Hmm.
upload it online. And that had like three characters that were like girls, and that was about like the whole premise. It was just these great three characters, and they did stuff, and it was really stupid and bad.
Oh well,
And
everyone's
then
first stuff
so
is, yeah.
yeah, of course. And then I moved on to like this idea for a comic about a bunch of kids that wanted to make a video game, and then yeah, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, that's
So
basically
what
what it
is it
was.
now? If that's what the evolution was?
Well, the setup is that she wants a friend for Halloween because she's been living alone for her entire life, just in the woods, right? And so she summons a demon to become her friend, and the demon's like, "I'll be your friend, but only if you do this for me." And that leads like goes on like a snowball of like things that continue to happen.
Is this character? Was this your character's pestilence?
Yeah, it's pestilence, the demon pestilence, or
Okay.
pest for short.
Oh, pest. That's kind of cute little shortening. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the other characters' names? Because you have like the werewolf character and the undead character.
Yeah, we got Nancy, also known as Necronancy. Her name is Nancy Mortis. She is a necromancer. Originally, she was a just a human, like studying medicine, and then she got a sort of mentor who exposed her to the art of necromancy and like how it could be used for regenerative purposes. Like, because if you like look into like D&D, like D&D is like a huge inspiration for me, and so that's how she gets into that. And then in order to take on whoever kills her mentor, she places a curse on herself that turns her undead, but gives her like undead powers. After her, we have Lucas Thrope. He starts out as like an official like detective. He works with the police, investigating like why there's supernatural like reports like happening around the city. And then eventually he leaves the police force because his wife and daughter die, and they say he's too close to the case, and so he quits the police force. And he's a werewolf, and that'll be explained later, but I don't want to spoil anything. And then there's only two more characters for the main cast. There's Wick West, who is just a witch, and then we have Maudville, who is a clown. They're all spooky characters to go with the like spooky Halloween aesthetic.
And so like this might be a question jumping ahead here in the script, but why the spooky aesthetic? Why base all your characters on this spooky theme?
It was never like I thought like I want to have a spooky comic. It was like I said earlier, like I started out with one idea, then I moved on to a different idea, and then I had Pumpkin left over as a character that I never used for anything. So I was like, oh, I'll make something with her. And like I was like, well, she's Pumpkin. Her whole thing is Halloween, so I guess the comic will be about Halloween because I actually like Halloween a lot. And so I was like, this works. This is fine because I love Halloween. It's
Okay.
my shit.
Okay, fair enough. And so right now, what do you, I know you wanted to make some web comics for online and like some web animation, sorry, like a little series. But so far, like, well, you've said that you've in the works right now, just have like one page of your comic out,
Yeah, I
like
only draw
because
one page so far.
because it's hard, right? Because you're trying to like juggle a lot of things with life.
Yeah, I'm
Life
trying to
comes
juggle
up.
two jobs, and I have like commissions like every fucking week.
It's tough,
I
man.
this is like I'm like I'm it's exhausting, but it's also really exciting because it's the first time I've ever actually had like a line of work that's like lined up. Like, because like I'm doing like 3 commissions for one person right now, and then I have a Twitch streamer who wants me to make them a Twitch banner and some emotes and shit. And I also have like 2 Discord art server like art trades that are like I'm in. So I have like a bunch of stuff I need to do on top of like the comic.
Oh, wow,
So
that's fantastic news. Actually, okay? So this is an important question for those who also want to become artists themselves. How did they find you? Did you like? Go ahead. How did they find you?
um they found me just like by happenstance. I'm really fucking bad at networking, which is like my main problem. Like all my other friends, they like know how to use like hashtags, they know how to like get their names out and shit. But I literally just like wander around the internet and just like talk to people, and then eventually someone's like, "Oh, you do art?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do art, I guess." I like never bring it up. I'm really bad at networking. But yeah, basically, the reason why I got so much work recently is because I went into this guy's Twitch stream because I played Dead by Daylight with him. Like I just
Oh,
happened to get into like a game with him, and I like sandbagged him super hard, like when he was being chased against the killer. And then so I went to his stream to apologize, and he just seemed like a cool dude. So I kept talking to him, and then like I interacted with his fan base, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I do art." And then he was like super helpful. He's like, "Oh shit, you do art? I need stuff. I need like an artist to do me things." And I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that."
Says they're shitty at networking when that's literally the best way
It
to
was
network.
literally by accident. Like I didn't like plan for it or anything. It was just happenstance.
Well, that's even
But yeah,
better.
you asked me to like give advice for like other people who want to like get their name out there. It's like you got to network. You got to know how to use hashtags. You got to know how to talk to people and like promote yourself without like coming off as imposing yourself onto somebody. You know?
Right. I think it's fairly common knowledge, at least for people who try to get into like YouTube creation or Twitch creation. You don't just go into someone's thing and just be like, oh, hey, I do this thing. Come to my. You don't just like advertise right away. You literally,
really
you were playing the game. You ended up, what's the term sandbagging? What does that mean exactly in the game?
So he was being chased by Leatherface in Dead by Daylight, who has like a chainsaw that can down you instantly, but it has like a long windup, so that's why you need to like put stuff in between you and him. And he was leading Leatherface to the generator that I was working on, and I was like, "Don't you fucking do it!" And he like was running right towards me, so I like ran to a pallet that he was running to, and I dropped it right in front of him, so he got stuck there right next to Leatherface.
Oh, okay. So basically, yeah, you're playing the game, and then you're pulling some crazy shit, and you went over the streamer's thing, say sorry, whatever, and you start hanging out. But the point here is that like it was all like just you weren't trying to like maliciously have an agenda of doing anything. You were literally just having fun. You went to say sorry to this person. You found out they had a cool community and all that, and then like yeah, it all started with your common interest in Dead by Daylight and just being cool and having fun, right?
Yeah, that's really how you do it. Like you find like things that you like, and you like interact with people who like that stuff, and then you like you drop the mention that like, oh hey, I do art, I do things.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it feels weird to do that, like at that point, because like, yes, you did get in the community genuinely and all that, but like realistically, you are providing value by mentioning, hey, I actually do art. You guys are into spooky aesthetic. I kind of like do like cool stuff. Like obviously not all your art would be considered like spooky aesthetic, obviously, right? You do all sorts of range
not
of things.
all of it. I draw a lot of fan art and shit.
Yeah, you do a lot of like, is that by request or like personally or both or?
That's both. Like recently, I was like just doing like a doodle stream, and like we were talking about like our favorite like cartoon crushes back in the day when we were kids, and like I mentioned like I had a crush on Number Five from Code's Name Kids Next Door, and so that just like led to me just doing like a drawing of Number Five, and it's all happenstance. I never do anything without with like an idea because I'm smooth brain. I like don't think about anything before I do it.
All right, well, I think that's a more exciting way to live life. Would you say like that was one instance recently? Did you before that? Do you think people were just like finding your Twitter or something like that? Because you have a Twitter that like literally not a lot, but like a fair amount of online artists will put like commissions open or something like that. Like I noticed you have
Yeah,
that
pretty
page
much. I just had I just had a Twitter, and like before that I had a DeviantArt. It was literally just me like uploading art, and sometimes people would see it because I would have like like if you just upload your art and like don't like put anything in the description, you don't use hashtags, you don't put any tags or anything on it, like people aren't gonna find it. 'Cause they're not just gonna like be looking up your name if you're not popular. Like literally the only reason why people like saw my stuff on DeviantArt is because I would do like Rainbow Six Siege fan art, and I'd be like, here's a Rainbow Six Siege fan art, and so people that like Rainbow Six Siege would like look up Rainbow Six Siege and then see my art, and then they might or may not like click on my profile and then see the rest of my art.
Yeah, that's the what do they call it? The marketing funnel, the buyer's journey, where they see something you like, but they won't notice anything you do unless it's something they're already looking for. So, like you said, the Rainbow Six Siege stuff is like obviously it's popular, and you do it in cool style. If someone likes you even more, like, hey, I wonder what else this person does, and yeah, like you said, they would click your profile and see what else.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how that like yeah, it's to be aware. But do you feel so? Wait, you had Twitter, DeviantArt. Where else were you posting your art?
That was pretty much it.
Just those
like
two places?
I tried to get into Tumblr, but I just can't fucking get into Tumblr. Like it confuses me. It's not very user friendly.
Really? So you're just like fuck that? Like
yeah, like I made a Tumblr and I posted a few things, and then I just dropped it and stopped using it.
Okay. You feel like one DeviantArt or Twitter were like one was better than the other, or was pretty equal, or like you just not sure?
Oh, exactly definitely DeviantArt, like for sure.
Oh,
like
really?
Twitter's
Okay.
like so bad for artists. Yeah.
Fair enough. Because yeah, it is tricky to get.
And
noticed
Tumblr's
on Twitter.
probably better, but like I just hate Tumblr. I can't get used to it.
That's wild.
I should really make like a Pixiv like account, because that's where a lot of NSFW artists like post their stuff. Yeah, Pixiv.
Oh, Pixiv. How do you spell it?
Pixiv.
Oh, and it's not safe for work art specifically.
I don't know if I haven't like been on it very much. I don't know if it's like
you just
not
heard
safe
it
for work
in the
art.
wind. Okay.
Yeah, I just hear like I just see like other artist friends like making a Pixiv or whatever.
Okay, so we've talked about your characters. I think the next thing we should talk about is that you've actually have a little bit of a Discord community. I won't name it because that might reveal, who you are behind the Spooky Ranger outfit. But you have a Discord community. Would you say it's a small, medium community, or how would you
It's
describe
really
it?
small. It's just like my friends and like anybody that's like popped into my stream and like wanted to hang out.
Right. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You do Twitch streams and you do Picardo streams, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I get the time, and I'm like just drawing.
Do you think which one do you think you've gotten more? Because Picardo is specifically for artists. So do you think Picardo's better? Twitch, they're about the same. You're still small, but it's hard to
You
distinguish.
can't
but-
really like make a business on Picardo, really. I don't use it like a whole lot, but I'm pretty sure you can't do like donations and like shit like that.
Oh really?
Whereas on like Twitch, you got like bits, you got subscribers, you got all that shit.
So,
The thing is, like, if I want to like draw like lewd art, I go to Picardo because you can draw lewd art on Picardo all you want.
right. Okay. So that's another thing. So, well, actually, no. Before we get into that, because Picardo, you can like draw lewd art, draw whatever you want. Art is art, but on Twitch, obviously, they have regulations. There could be kids watching or something. Even if you hit that button, hey, 18 plus only stream, chances are you can't just like show lewd art. But anyways,
Yeah.
I like your little community because like all these people. So some of them have found you through Picardo, some through Twitch, Twitter, DeviantArt, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like. I dived in myself, right? Because obviously we're friends. I'm going to check out your Discord, and like I noticed you guys have like a lot of resources, and people are actually like contributing their art and sharing stuff and giving pointers and stuff. Like, was the Discord always like that, or was it like fairly small and it wasn't really focused on becoming?
Oh yeah, that was the idea of like me creating it because I was in like a bunch of other art Discords, and I was like, why would I make my own? And I thought like, well, I could just make like a resource library for artists, and like that's just like what it'll be. But then like people wanted to like post their memes and they wanted like their friends to join even though they weren't artists and shit. And so I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll just like make all the extra channels that every other Discord server has and I'll let it be open for anybody to join.
And how long did you feel it took for like? Did you notice that the growth was really picking up of people joining the Discord?
I mean, I wouldn't even say like my Discord has really grown. I'd say it's pretty fucking dead.
Well,
like
no,
it used to be real popping, but like
well, I'd
yeah,
argue, I don't know. I'd argue yours is pretty good because every now and then, anytime, any day of the week I pop in, I'm like, oh, look, there's a whole bunch of like different channels. I'm seeing people write in and like people commenting and react. I don't think it's dead. If anything, you can at least call it a small community, I'd say.
all right, it's a small community then. Let's just call it that.
Yeah. I from someone coming from the outside in who isn't contributing to the art world, I would say like, yeah, you guys got some community going there. Even if it's like on and off, it's still there. But anyways, so a second ago, just mentioned that I wanted to talk later was about the lewd aspect. For those who don't know, Spooky Ranger here, almost said the name, Spooky Ranger here actually does lewd art. So you draw lewd art, yes?
Yeah, I do. I do draw dicks and vaginas. That is something I draw.
Yes, the more flat out way of saying it. Yes. So like I don't know. So when did you actually start doing lewd art? Like, did you always kind of like
I started drawing like lewd art before I even like started like drawing. Like I'd be a fucking like horny 8-year-old and I'd draw like this fucking like bitch I saw in like in a cartoon that I thought was hot and I'd draw like her getting fucked.
Really?
It would be like just
Wow.
stick figures and shit. Yeah.
That's
I've always been a little fucking horny piece of shit.
I love how you. Okay, all right, I'll take that answer. All right, so
Fucking
from
shamelessly, or not shamelessly, but shamefully fucking like hiding my little doodles like underneath my bed, and then like I would like look for them and they wouldn't be there because my mom cleaned my room and I'd be panicking, but she wouldn't say anything. So
do you think but you're like for sure she's seen them?
oh, most definitely, yeah. When I was a kid, she knew all the fucking shit I was getting into because my mom was pretty nosy when I was growing up.
Oy vey, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Oh well anyways.
But yeah, I've always been into like drawing lewd shit, even like before I was like into just doing art.
So when you started like selling your art, was some of the first ones lewd, or did you like slowly like mention?
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure. Like yeah. Yes, yeah. I was trying to remember. Sorry, the very first like actual thing I got paid to draw was lewd.
Really? So like, do you like? Oh, this is another question, real quick. When people like DM, like I assume it's through DMs, right? How people want to contact about commissions.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone will DM you and be like, how many times out of 10 will they say, "Hey, I found you through blank"? Like, do they say that before they start talking?
No, usually like I already know them. And I'll just like
okay.
talk to them and they'll be like, hey, can you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Oh, so like most of your commissions, like you were like either like quote unquote networking or like talking to them, or they're a friend or something and they already knew you, and then they already knew you made art, and then sometime later they'd be like, hey, you do art, can you do this for me? Is that how it kind of usually happens?
Yeah, usually. There's only been like once or twice where like somebody that was like a stranger that I didn't know requested or like commissioned me.
And would they mention that fact, like, oh, hey, I saw your drawing of this, and then like, could you do this?
No, they wouldn't be like, hey, I saw you from this. They would just be like, hey, I like your art. Can you do this? And I'd be like, yeah.
Okay. Would you prefer? Obviously, like I think it's better to know like how someone finds your stuff. Would you prefer if they said, Like, hey, I found you through this picture or something like that?
I mean, they can if I want. I don't really care.
Oh, you don't? Okay, well, fair enough. To each their own. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so okay, so you've had a fascination with lewd art over the years, and that's kind of like an okay, cool thing. Because like with it wasn't even a thing from anatomy. I was going to ask you that if it was like, were you drawing anatomy and you found it kind of intriguing, like the female form?
Yeah, no,
the male
I was just
form
really
and-
horny.
Okay, all right, awesome. All right, well, it's just flat out. All right, there's no like, you don't have to look behind the curtain too far. All right, cool. Okay, so you do lewd art, and the desire just has always been there. I guess I mean, you call yourself a horny teen from the start.
Dude, like the desire that was fucking drilled into me because like cartoons back in the day, the fucking people that were making them were fucking horny adults making kids cartoons. They're like fucking I can like name 3 episodes right now from different kids cartoons that are like so sexually fucking like fueled. There's like this one episode of the Powerpuff Girls where there's these fucking like nanobots or some shit, and they like eat material, and when the Powerpuff Girls go to like fight them, it eats their clothes and they're embarrassed and naked. And there's like this episode of Jimmy Neutron where like the pants come alive and like everybody's running around in their underwear and like the girls are all embarrassed and shit. And I'm like, you show this to a kid, like they're gonna grow up one way.
Oh, I saw that episode with Jimmy Neutron the pants, and I'm just thinking, oh no, I'd be embarrassed too if I didn't have my pants on. I mean,
No,
that's fair.
yeah,
You
no.
can look at
When I
both
saw that
sides.
when I saw that as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Cindy's underwear. I wonder what a vagina looks like.
All right, fair enough. All right, I didn't even know about the Powerpuff Girl thing where they got like no clothes. I didn't even know that episode existed. Okay.
Yeah, and there's like an episode of Samurai Jack where the whole premise of the episode is like he lost his clothes or someone stole his clothes while he was bathing or something, so he's running around naked.
Oh, I haven't seen that episode, but okay. Well, I thought. Well, wait, is this also based on maybe like just this, or is it also based on like you like looked up the artist because you're into art and you found out, oh, they actually did like some more risque stuff back in the day or anything like that? No, or yes, or
Wait, so what's the question?
so like okay, so you said like, oh, these guys are like these artists are like drawing stuff and like you're showing examples, right? So for a second there I thought you meant like, oh, they did like episodes like this and maybe there were an artist you looked up to or something, so you looked at for
No, I didn't like look up like the actual like artists working on the cartoons.
Oh,
I was just a kid watching these cartoons and like being exposed to like horny shit.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So it goes from that and stuff because like, so this next question is going to be kind of like just a personal thing, and just possibly from a place of I don't know what to call it, but growing up I was never really too much of a crazy horn dog. Of course, I don't know. We all got normal libidos roughly. I'm not saying I'm not into whatever. This is really stupid and awkward how I'm trying to say this. What I'm trying to say is, I've never necessarily had, I draw a lot, I doodle a lot and stuff. I've never necessarily had a fascination with like drawing boobs or vagina or dick or whatever. So like that's the thing, right? And the only times I never ever really like look at that kind of art is that I like if it's like the tasteful like old black and white photo or something, or even it's just like a nice like pose or whatever. But the thing is, I noticed some of my friends, like I guess you would be one of them, is like I have another friend who has wallpapers on their computer of like women like half naked, and I always thought like, well, why would you want a picture of like a half naked woman on a computer?
Listen, I'm a porn artist. I still don't get like the fucking like sexy like wallpaper shit.
You
Like
don't?
that's not I don't get it. Like I don't get why you would like display that like as your wallpaper and shit.
Like, what? How do you see that? Because personally, if I go to my friend's house and I see they got like a video game character with like I don't know, like their tits showing or something like that, I'm like, why would you have that on your computer?
If I see it like a poster or like that's somebody's wallpaper, like to me, like a poster or wallpaper is like this is my identity. This is the thing I'm into. And if it's just
Okay.
like I'm just into sexy girls, it's like you're pretty fucking like shallow. Like what are your interests? Like you sexy girls, like what? Let's fucking get a hobby, like shit.
I guess yeah, okay. You could take that on the point.
I had a
they
friend
could
when
be
I was
shallow,
a kid, like
yeah.
that was like his room. He had like the fucking girls that were like sexy and like wearing like football jerseys and like no pants and shit. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
where's your fucking like interest? What video games are you into? What fucking shows are you into? What the fuck?
That I think that's an important point to make there, because it's like you have all these pictures of these half naked women. It's like, do you have no like goals or passions in life? It's like, do you just ogle at women all day? Okay,
I mean, if it was like a poster of like characters from like My Hero and they're sexy, I'd be like, okay, I get it. You're into My Hero and you think the chicks are sexy. That's fine. But if it's literally just like some random fucking bitch that they found on the street corner, it's like what?
Like there's it's just like that weird fascination of just like, I don't know. It's just like there's so much better. Okay, I think this more sounds like it's all what you're interested in and like how you not grew up necessarily, but like it's hard to explain because all my wallpapers are either art or something cool, and like they could be sexy, but they never actually show nipple or like private part because like I just love the cool aesthetic of whatever art I have on my computer. So when I see someone with just like, yeah, like I said again, like video game ass or titties or something, I'm like, okay, but isn't that just like, you know, just don't look at that thing in the way that's like, there's just better things out there. But again, I guess that's why it always comes down to interest and stuff and how we're different. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying, and yeah, it's dumb.
yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, and again, not to bash anyone who does do that. It's just to people who don't do that, it comes off as like either shallow or just like seems like you don't have anything else on your mind. That's what it also like it comes down to. Sorry, but at the same time, I can imagine there's a lot of lewd artists who have it as maybe inspirations because they follow other lewd artists. Perhaps, you know, that could be. I mean, not in this example I gave, but
oh yeah, totally. Like I would have like a fucking pinup of like something like Shadman did if I could like fucking afford it, but I can't. But yeah, definitely.
Shadman did?
Shadman.
Shadman? What's that?
Shadman.
Shadman. What's that?
Do you really not know who Shadman is?
Is that an artist or a character?
That is an artist, and he's like the most like infamous / famous like an NSFW artist. Like what? How do you not know about Shad? What?
I'm searching it. Well, I that's not like I'm saying. I'm not into. I don't know. I don't look up a lot of not safe for work art.
That's like the whole reason why he's popular is because like he draws like fucking NSFW shit that's like wacky and weird and like it's like why would you draw this thing? This is awful. And he'd be like, haha. Yeah, Shadbase.
Was this the person? No, this the person that I saw in your Discord. You had posted an inspirational video of this person being like, if you want to do this is them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, really cool.
He's the guy who started out doing like lolly shit and like triggering people and like getting a reaction out of them and shit.
Ah, okay. So, and obviously you know who Spaz Kid is, yes?
Yeah, I know all those fucking Newground. I mean, I don't know them, but I think I know of them.
You're aware of their reputation and such. Okay, because it's like, yeah, because the only lewd artists I ever knew popular, and I didn't even know they were lewd, is Spaz Kid, only by association with like Oni Plays and like Chris O'Neill and like all those Newgrounds people. But like, yeah, and then like throughout the show, he would explain, yeah, I do lewd art and stuff. Like, oh, I didn't know that. And it was just interesting, and that's where I started questioning and understanding, like, oh, people draw lewd art, and here's someone I'm actually hearing like talk and like who does that, and it's just, I don't know, that just started the process in my mind of like wondering like, well, why do they do that? Why are they interested in it? And I guess it all kind of comes from a place of curiosity and fun and like, I guess, straight up horniness.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, I don't want to like put words in like the mouth of.
I mean,
not
all the time. Like Shadman, he's gone on record as saying like none of his art like makes him horny. He's not horny when he's drawing the art. He's like doing it like with a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So, what do you think that purpose is?
To get a reaction out of people, to like fucking make something that people are going to see and like fucking experience and shit.
You think? I don't know if this is because he.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, no, sorry, not you think to that opinion, but like, do you think, like the fact, like I watched that video and he was saying how like he built his whole like little reputation, not the whole thing, but a good portion of it to get popularity was to create reactions and stuff like that. Do you think someone could possibly literally copy what he did, be known for copying literally what he did, and that's how they would get popular? Like you are the B side of this what was it? What was the name?
Shadman. Also, no, definitely not. Nobody could like do that anymore because the internet's like fucking devolved into like depravity now. Like now everybody's like, now you like post lolly shit and everybody's like, yeah. Like back in the day you did that and everybody would like fucking like crucify you and shit.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's fucking.
Yeah, now it's a fucking meme. It's a meme now. It's a spicy meme.
Okay, it's a spicy meme. Okay. Yeah, because that's totally interesting. So I'd like to ask. So with you being doing lewd art, how ratio wise, like how much is it lewd art you're doing for people, how much is it not, I mean safe for work art, like what's the ratio?
Personally, just like what I'm like drawing, it's like, I don't know, my regular drawing is like a majority is like safe for work because like usually I'm like either drawing like fan art for something or I'm like drawing my own characters. But if it's like things that people request or like commission, it's like 9-to-1. It's always NSFW.
Really? Well, that's the thing, right? I assume like people's needs can be so specific, or you know, it's just maybe obviously not seen well in the public if they want to draw a sexy version of a character. So I feel like the need for that is high, and like You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's easier to find customers to do lewd art because it's less spoken of and it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think a majority of like the people that like request like something lewd is because they can't find like the specific thing they want. Because like
Yeah.
I don't know how fucking horny you get, but like sometimes when you're looking at porn, you like you need that fucking specific fucking like thing. Like I specifically need this bitch in this pose doing this thing.
It,
And if they can't find it, then they'll like go to like an artist that has like the cheapest commissions and shit and request them to do it for them so they can get their fucking nut off.
do you find that wild that someone is willing to pay money to see this specific image of of a specific character come into
I
fruition?
mean, yeah, I do think it's weird because I wouldn't even fucking like pay like to I wouldn't even like pay like popular artists like for shit that I want, but that's because I'm poor and I have like no fucking money. Like I'm sure the people that are like doing this have like disposable income. And they're
Well,
not me. That's like fucking living paycheck to paycheck, barely being able to afford my rent.
well, I was gonna ask, like, so you've never asked another artist to draw you something lewd?
Uh, no, I have, but it's just like friends, and we're like hanging out and like drawing things
So
for each
sorry,
other.
I should have rephrased it. Like you paid for someone to.
Yeah, no, I've never paid like
Oh,
anybody to like commission anything.
well, that's
Actually,
kind.
no, that's not true. I did once, and then they didn't fucking follow through on it.
Oh, that's kind of sucks. Damn.
Yeah.
Have you ever been requested something so weird but you did it anyway, or something so weird you didn't do it?
Oh no, not yet, at least.
So on both
Honestly, I
sides.
think the weirdest thing is that somebody literally just wanted me to like draw a character from Doug, like reciting poetry, and that was it. Nothing lewd about it. They just wanted me to draw a character from Doug reciting poetry, and I was
That-
really weirded out. I was like,
that's-
what? Really? That's all you want?
how much were they willing to pay for that?
No, they didn't pay. It was like just a request because I was like, hey, anybody got any requests?
Oh, okay. Oh, did you do the request?
Yeah, I did. It was
Oh.
like the 5-minute little drawing thing.
Alrighty. So
That was back before I like had like commissions and like I asked people to like pay for shit. I was just like,
Oh.
hey, I'll draw whatever you want.
oh, that makes sense. Okay. Because
Yeah.
did you feel back then you needed to like the whole typical I need to build
No,
up?
I
a
wasn't
little
even like doing
portfolio?
digital art back then. I was still doing like paper and pencil and taking the pictures with my phone.
Oh my gosh. So like straight up DeviantArt days. Okay.
Yeah, straight up DeviantArt days.
Anyways, so we kind of touch on like the lewd art community. I mean, not other artists. So like, have you actually? Well, yeah, you have talked to other artists. They're in your Discord, some of them, and like, have you like chatted with some online through Twitter or DeviantArt? Like, how would you describe the community generally as you entered it and people knew you as a like lewd and also safer work artist?
Oh, it's fantastic. Lewd artists are always like 99% of the time they're good people.
Okay, that's great to hear. Okay,
Like that. Like I don't know if you've ever. I know you have, but for the sake of conversation, I don't know if you've ever heard of Sleepycast. But on
Right,
there,
right.
when they had Shadman on there, they like talk about how he's actually like the nicest fucking person ever.
They had him on there.
He's been on like 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice. I gotta go back to those episodes and re-listen now. Okay, wow.
Yeah, they talk about like how like the people who draw like the most like insane and like twisted and depraved shit are usually like the nicest people in real life, and it's totally true.
That's another thing. It's like, people who are comfortable with all like quote unquote like fucked up or super sexual things. It's like most of the time they're people who are like, yeah, I can play with fire. I don't have to be scared of this type thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then yeah, no, that's also another point. Like that's like an artistic question. Do you really have to delve deep in your darkest side to be okay with it? Like, I don't know. That sounds pretentious. You know what I mean, though. Okay. Okay.
No, but not really. It's usually just the horniness that fuels me, and I'm like, ooh, it'd be cool if this bitch was getting fucked and her big fat ass was clapping and shit.
That's so
no.
funny. Yeah, but at the same time, you still have to experiment with like shit that's quote unquote taboo for you to be doing that in the first place, right? You got to be comfortable, no?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So, so we talked about how often people pick this art over that art. Do you consider yourself more of a lewd artist, or still generally just an artist in general?
Yeah, no, I try not to brand myself as like a not safe for work artist, but like every time I tell people that I do art, I have to mention it because I don't want them to like click on my Twitter link and then see a bitch with cum fucking dripping out of her vagina.
Right, because
So,
and in the past I've tried to recommend, hey guys, Spooky Ranger here does art. Go check him out. And then you have to stop me. Like, wait, let him know I do loot. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, because you never know. Like,
You're right.
it might be like a fucking like kid or something.
I know. So, but that's the thing, right? I feel like, do you, well, let me know. Do you have to do that almost every time you mention your art? So at some point,
yeah, pretty much.
So at some point, do you think you should just label yourself a loot artist just to get it out of the way?
No, I never want to like label myself as a loot artist. I have tried to make like a strictly like safer work art profile, but like it never takes off. Like I don't even like get my friends to like follow it because I'm like, hey, I made like a new profile that's without the NSFW stuff, and they're like, well, I don't care. I want to see all of your shit, and then they don't follow it. So
that's annoying because the whole sex sells thing, I guess.
Yeah.
To one aspect. Oh my god.
Well, it's not even the sex sells. It's like I want to see all of your art. I don't want to see just some of your art.
Well, again, that's the thing. So like well, it sounds like you experimented with it. Do you think later on, maybe, I don't know, do you see yourself?
I mean, if I got popular enough, maybe, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. Let's hope.
So for now, it's like, I'm just an artist. I'll mention loot art every time, and then we'll see which one takes off.
I'm an artist with a warning that there is lewd content in my profile.
But yeah, we'll keep it cute and simple that way. Okay. So any tips for people who want to become a freelance artist?
Networking. That's pretty much it.
Networking. Anything about like, I don't know, like tips for like, I mean,
it's different. There's two different things. There's advice for like people like wanting to like do art professionally and people that like want to get into art. Like, which are you asking?
Professionally.
Yeah, it's networking. That's pretty much it. Like know how to use like your hashtags on Twitter, know how to use your like tags on like art websites. Make sure you have a profile on like every fucking art website. Like get your Twitter, get your DeviantArt, get your Tumblr, get your Pixiv, get your Fur Affinity, get your eHentai, get your whatever the fuck.
And how often do you feel you should advertise yourself on those platforms? Like, hey, I'm a blank artist or whatever. I'm just an artist or whatever, and come check me out. I have commissions. Or do you feel like, what I'm asking is,
well, you don't go into like other people's thing and say, hey, come to my thing. You just do shit and you like use your tags and hopefully your art will speak for itself and people like come and see your art and see that like you like can do shit and they might like follow you to see if you'll do the thing that they like, and maybe they'll even like request it because they want to see it.
So that, I think that actually does answer my question, because I was what I'm more asking is that, like, how often on your own profile are you reminding people, hey, I do commissions, other than just, you posting art for the sake of like, this is my art?
I mean, technically it's like 24/7 because I literally have it in my Twitter thing that says like commissions open.
Fair enough. I think, okay, there you go. All right, never mind then. All right.
Although I should probably change it now because I really need to fucking close my commissions because I'm so busy right now. I didn't think it would ever happen, but here we are.
Hey, Lamau. So, as small as you could ever think yourself, you'll get there eventually, right?
Yeah.
And how long do you think people, if someone was just like, they have some art behind their belt and they maybe have done one lewd art thing for someone for free so far, how long from that point to get to the point where you're at, where you've kind of networked and stuff, do you think it takes? Like a year, 2 years from their first?
I've been drawn for like fucking like 10 years, I think.
Well, right, but from the point of like your first like little bit of a community, your first lewd art you actually got requested, you gave for free, perhaps. From that first like starting point to today, how long do you feel that would take for someone?
It's definitely a few years. It takes a while, unless you're like really good into networking, which I'm not. So that's probably why it took like a few years to get to like the very small amount of like community I have now.
So let's say let's give an example of like, let's say it took 3 years. Would you say that if your art skills improved quicker, like you get to that point faster, or do you solely base it off of networking? Like if you just networked more, you could.
I'd say it's like 75% networking and like 25% like getting better at your art skills. I mean, hopefully, like if you're at the point where people are like commissioning you to like draw shit, your art's already pretty good enough at that point.
All right, fair enough. Okay, and so do you have any specific tips for someone who gets into lewd art as opposed to the regular art community, which is way larger and more general?
Just know that like you're probably not gonna like be able to network in places that are like strictly safe for work, because I actually have a story about this.
Oh, perfect. Go ahead.
It's like one of the first times I actually tried to do like some networking shit, because Team 4-Star, do you know Team 4-Star?
No.
They did Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh, okay.
So they had a D&D podcast where they like played D&D, and they had a like fan art like section at the end of every episode. And I tried to make some fan art for them, and it was actually pretty good. I was actually really happy with the art that I did. I did like 2 or 3 drawings, and they're like, "Yeah, just add us on Twitter." And so I was like, I drew the art, and then I added them, and then my shit didn't get featured. And like I literally watched the episode and I see like the fan art that like got added before mine, fan art that got it added like after mine, like back to back, and mine was not like in between them. And so I was like, oh shit. They probably don't want to like feature my art because I'm like, if people like follow me, then they'll see fucking all the dicks and vaginas and shit.
So wait, was this like a live D&D event you said?
It's a D&D podcast that
It was a podcast.
they did on Twitch, and then like they upload like the episodes onto YouTube with like editing and shit.
But you were there while they were doing it on Twitch, right?
No, I like did the art and then I added them, and then like the next episode I watched it, and then it wasn't there, but like the art that like got added like around mine like did get in.
And would you say the art objectively around yours was like pretty much like just as good, if not worse or better?
Yeah, it was around like the same level. Also, they'll like fucking take like any art. They take like shitty like phone camera like paper and pencil and line paper like art.
Do you? This is kind of a curious question. Do you consider someone being a lewd artist to be like similar to like someone choosing to be a, I don't know, a stripper or something? Because it's like you're going down a road that's very sexualized in this domain, and others will look down upon it, or it's taboo to them. Do you feel it kind of like has a similar what's it called, air around it?
Oh, definitely. Like it's similar. It's not at all like the same thing, but it's
Of
definitely
course.
similar. Because if you do like porn, you can't get jobs at certain places. Like, but if you just do lewd art, you can like have an online nickname as long as people don't know who you are, then it's fine.
But if they ever do find out, then it's like this person, they'll reconsider.
Oh yeah,
right?
totally.
So
That's why I'm like really
safer.
like
It's
cautious about like talking about like my work and shit, because I don't want people to find out what I do, because
okay.
I don't think they'd be very approving of my lifestyle at my job.
I have a feeling we're not going to reveal the mask at the end of the show, but we'll see. We'll still see. You stick around, people. We'll see. All right. So I think that's a lot of stuff about art and becoming a freelance artist. Is there anything you feel like I missed? Do you want to like mention before we move on to the next category?
Nothing I could think of really.
All right. Cool. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about, since it's spooky month, we had a long conversation already, but like, let's talk about Halloween things. So I'm into Halloween, but you are more into Halloween. Let's just go off. I don't even know what bag of tricks you got. I mean, you've told me that you have some. Okay, first of all, actually, why are you so Halloween obsessed?
I think the reason why I'm so Halloween obsessed is because like every other holiday was like just completely fucking ruined for me. Like growing up, Halloween is like the only holiday I ever like look forward to. Like I hated Christmas because I hated my family, because my family are fucking assholes. And April Fool's Day is a shit holiday because it's just people saying like, here's a thing, haha, it's not actually this thing, or people like doing legitimate fucking crimes and like saying it's a joke.
And that's died off too over the years, but yeah.
And then like, yeah, Thanksgiving is like, again, spend it with your family, and I fucking hate my family. So Halloween's like the only thing I look forward to.
Wow. Well, it's interesting.
That's probably why I liked it so much.
Well, that's interesting.
That, and I like watched like more spooky and like edgy like cartoons and shit. Like I watched Billy and Mandy growing up like a fuck ton, so I was like always into the spooky shit.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like kids cartoons, if they ever do something like scary or cool, it happens. It's easier to put it with the spooky Halloween aesthetic. So I think that's an interesting little bit of mix there thing. But sorry, what I was gonna say earlier is I find it interesting that like the family thing was, and again, sorry to hear that for you in this situation, but like the other holidays were ruined. But I find that interesting because like usually Halloween's like, oh, do you take your kid out for Halloween and stuff? So did you go out on your own or with friends and stuff usually around Halloween time?
Yeah, no, I usually like went on my own or like with friends.
Okay, cool. So that's how it's kind of saved for yourself. You like, you got the costume, you felt the cool things in the movies and all that, right? And of course the candy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. And so
Halloween was either like go out in a costume and get candy from strangers, or go in a costume and hang out with your friends and like do shit.
That's true.
Or spend it alone in the dark eating like a pizza, watching like slasher flicks, which is also fine.
Yeah, they all sound like pretty great things. Yeah, Halloween's kind of a flexible holiday.
That's why people are like saying like, oh, how are we gonna do Halloween this year? There's like like social distancing shit. It's like Halloween's whatever you fucking want it to be. Fucking just like summon a fucking demon in your fucking basement, like, or go fucking like to your friend's house and get drunk and like fucking play video games. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah, it's really the most loose holiday to do any of that stuff.
It really is. It's just like have a good time. That's the holiday. That's the whole thing.
So quickly, well, not quickly, but you told me you knew about some Halloween customs, like some interesting things, facts about Halloween. Do share.
Yeah, because this comic is like so Halloween focused, I've like done like research and shit on like
yeah
Halloween and like why it is. Like, do you even like know like why people like go trick or treating and like why people give like each other candy?
Well, real quick, I just want to say that actually reminds me of something. I had a writing teacher back in college, and she would actually have to research books about like torture and shit. So her Amazon like book list would be like how to torture someone, how people tortured people in the CIA and stuff. And for her writing story about like this character has to torture another character, she did a lot of research. So it was like, fucking, if the FBI looked at her history, it's like, are you gonna torture someone?
Yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
It's interesting how those things intertwine your fiction and search
Yeah,
and reality.
if you like write stuff or like need references for things, your search history is gonna like super sus.
But so wait, I remember that you actually even shared like the whole fucking. I didn't even know they used turnips. It was turnips they used first for jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, they use turnips for jack-o'-lanterns and they're fucking horrifying.
Yeah, I didn't even fucking believe it when you know I didn't believe it. I was like, this looks Photoshop. I'm like, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, it originally like started as like, you know, like the harvest holiday and shit. So they like used their turnips and shit.
Well, wait, I was gonna ask about like the whole fucking what's that guy's name? The jack-o'-lantern. No, jack-o'-lantern Jack. That doesn't exist. What the fuck am I saying?
No, that it does exist. There's a whole story behind it. It's about like this guy who like
yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. But that's not the name. Like jack-o'-lantern Jack. That's.
I mean, yeah, it's not the name, but like, yeah, it was like a guy that like tricked the devil or some shit, and then like the devil like tricked him and then put his soul into like a pumpkin, and that's why we have jack-o'-lanterns and shit. That's the story behind it.
Right, and it makes me remember all like the Halloween specials all our favorite kids cartoons would have. I just realized I think the most coolest thing about having Halloween specials in your favorite cartoons is that, you know, it brings kids to like not be afraid of scary things, even though it's like, you know, it's dumbed down for kids. Like it could be a zombie thing in like a Recess from Disney special or whatever.
Oh yeah, dude, fucking like Scary Godmother. That shit plays on Cartoon Network every fucking year, and it's the shit every time.
Yeah, that was such a fucking like it was such a unique thing. Like I've never seen anything that looks like the Scary Godmother. Like it's just.
I mean, it was pretty fucking early animation. Like
yeah,
for like 3D animation, it was pretty early. So yeah.
Yeah. But it's just important to teach kids, like, yeah, you could be scared of stuff, but being scared can also like not be a terrifying thing. Don't be scared of being scared.
Dude, when I watched Scary Godmother, I was like, man, that shit looks so fucking lit. I want to go hang out with fucking monsters and werewolves and vampires and shit.
Oh, but were you ever actually scared to death or like actually grew up with something you feared? Because I grew up being actually scared of Chucky. I would have nightmares about Chucky and stuff.
Totally. Like I saw Child's Play when I was a kid. I was fucking terrified of dolls and Chucky and shit. Yeah.
Okay. But was it anything else? Like for me, it was Chucky.
No, I think Chucky was like the only thing I was like really scared of as a kid, other than like spiders, because spiders are fucking terrifying.
Have you seen that movie 8-Legged Freaks?
I have not. I probably won't, because I'll probably fucking be terrified.
Well, it's actually like a comedy horror. It's like these giant spiders that kill people, but it's like literally making fun of itself. It like does gags and all this shit.
Okay, I should check it out then. I don't know where I'd check it out, but I should definitely do that.
Yeah, it was one of those campy movies, dumb. But anyways, but I actually recently just watched the Halloween Rob Zombie remakes. You've seen those, yes?
Yeah, I've seen most of the Halloween movies. I haven't seen all of them.
Okay, but I've seen like 1 and 2, the first two where he actually delved his hand in and remade them. You have you seen those two?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it a long time ago? Oh, okay. Sounds like it's been a long time for you, right?
Yeah, it's still pretty vague in my memory.
Okay, because I just saw those for the first time and like, holy shit, man! It was interesting because he does a lot of character development in these movies and people will knock him for that, but whatever. And he obviously he's Rob Zombie. He does a lot of gory shit in that. But I think it's like really interesting that I would probably still watch the original Halloween over his, because his does like you gotta like sit down and pay attention. The old Halloweens, they're kind of a little bit goofy and like it's like stabbing a guy against a wall and like going over and like smacking a chick on the head. I don't know, but like you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to be so invested as to his movies. But is any of this ringing a bell? Do you remember any of the Rob Zombie or the first Halloween movie?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get to the point.
Well, no, sorry. My point is that like I just find it really cool and stuff, like how he did all that. That was my little hot take about my little quick movie review. What movies have you seen recently that you've gotten like super into lately, or anything like that?
I haven't actually been watching any like movies recently. It's been a long time since I went on a horror binge. Like I think the last time I went on a fucking horror.
In spooky month, you haven't started watching spooky movies? Come on.
I've been really fucking busy. Listen, listen. I just started working again. It's I'm really busy.
Fine, fair enough. Okay, so we talked about some Halloween customs. Talked about some movies. Oh well, real quick, like some of my favorite ones growing up that were kind of like hidden gems was like, have you seen Trick or Treat?
I have.
You have.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's one a lot of people don't know about, and it's pretty fun. Another one is
it's like a bunch of like fun little horror stories. They're like miniature and like in like a big movie.
Yeah, like 4 stories intertwined. They're all Halloween based. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying to remember a bunch of Halloween movies I loved growing up.
They're very fun and corny and campy, and they're just fun.
Yeah, I've seen all the Friday the 13th, some of the Halloweens. Scream was definitely a crazy series that went off the rails by the 5th one.
Oh yeah, it got really crazy as it went on. But I do love like the original Scream like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though Chucky scared the shit out of me, like Child's Play is still probably like one of my favorites because like I don't know, I just really like Chucky. He's like a really fun character. Like I like the part where she's like, if you don't talk right now, I'll throw you in the fire. And Chucky like comes alive. She's like, you fucking bitch, I'll fucking kill you.
I forgot that happened. Yeah, that is a famous moment from the fucking thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess if we're moving on, have you ever actually done the trick or treat? Have you ever done a trick on someone's house? Have you ever egged someone's house, thrown toilet
No,
paper?
I've never fucked with anyone's house because that's really shitty. I'm like super against people that like use Halloween to like be shitty.
Yeah, that is shitty. But like, I imagine there's still those like probably started also from kids who were just hated like the old people in the place that like hated Halloween, were absolute assholes. In that way, it's a little bit justified, but still shitty, obviously. But and then again,
I mean, if people don't want to celebrate Halloween, you gotta respect their factually wrong opinion, but you still gotta like fucking be nice about it. Otherwise, you're like validating them. You're like fucking giving them a reason to hate Halloween. If they're being a grump, then
that's
just let them be
true.
a fucking grump.
That's true. To be fair, in my example, I was just like saying like literally the demon asshole old man who like literally means all the kids, goes out of his way to be mean to his kids, but that's rare to be fair. But
Now, what you do instead is you wait until Christmas, and then you egg his house because the eggs get frozen on his wall, and then he starts hating Christmas instead of Halloween.
oh, that's actually really smart. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah.
Have you? Oh, real quick. Have you ever actually? You know, when you see those bowls of candy at someone's house, and it's like take one. Have you ever taken more than one?
No, I always take one.
Oh, I've taken two.
I respect the rule. Oh, you're a piece of shit.
I am a piece of shit.
Podcast is over. Bye.
Bye. No, come back.
I'm joking.
Okay. Oh shit, we don't have a lot of time for this interview, so I think we're gonna do a bit of a speed run. Is that cool with you?
All right, speed run. Let's go.
Okay, so craziest thing you can remember about Halloween for yourself. Craziest best memory if you can.
This one time that we were going scavenger hunting, like on Halloween with some friends, we went to somebody's house, and then I like wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I was like on my phone or something when we were like getting candy from them. I just overhear like, "Hey, put the fucking gun away! You don't the trick or treaters, dumbass." I'm like, "What?" And I like looked up and I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's terrifying. Okay, what did you see a gun or like you just like walked away?
I didn't see a guy with a gun or anything. I just heard that and like got like really worried.
Okay. I would be too. Jesus, man. So we didn't even talk about how you decorate your house sometimes all the time for Halloween. It's just like all cool and stuff. Like, what do you have around your house, real quick?
Real quick, I'm fucking poor, so all I got is like this little skeleton dude that's hanging out of a box. I've showed you on stream before, right? Or I sent you a picture of like my little pumpkin that has like my jewelry and like bracelets and shit. I got some garland that just says Happy Halloween. I got some orange lights. I just bought this miniature strobe light. Like it's really tiny, but it lights up like the entire room, and it's fucking dope. I love it.
Ooh, so yeah, I love like actually making the room colorful with like the Halloween colors. It actually makes the
Yeah,
room
and
way
I also
better.
have like this wooden like wall hanger that's like a jack-o'-lantern. It has like a sign underneath that says Happy Halloween. It's pretty cute.
And you were putting that stuff up like some of that stuff you have lying around like before
Oh,
Halloween. Yeah.
this is staying. My apartment's staying like this like all year round.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's how much you love Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so now people get even a better.
But a lot
idea.
of this shit I like bought like recently.
The artist is committed to the art. Literally lives it every day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, and any Halloween tips you found over the years that's made your Halloween better?
Just know that Halloween's whatever you want to make it to be.
Beautiful.
You don't have to do anything that like don't feel like you have to do anything as long as it's spooky.
You don't have to go to some stupid party because like it's what you do. You could go if it's cool or not, or if the people are cool or something like that. Okay, so I think we're gonna end off with a bit more about Dead by Daylight. I think we mentioned it before when we were talking about this Twitch streamer you ended up in their stream and like community and all such. But so you love Dead by Daylight. So what is it about the game you and many others love it for so much? Like what's the main appeal of Dead by Daylight?
I think the biggest draw is like the horror slasher aesthetic. You look at those like sales numbers and that shit like bumps up like tenfold like anytime they do a licensed killer. Like when they did the Stranger Things chapter, like so many people jumped onto Dead by Daylight, like so fucking many people.
But yeah, okay, so I always found that kind of cool that they do that. Like every patch, like they had Silent Hill, they had freaking Saw, the fucking.
Oh, dude, the Silent Hill chapter, fucking oh god, that bumped up their sales numbers like so fucking much.
It's wild. It's crazy how they can still do that. Kind of like how
I never thought. I never would have fucking thought in a million years that they'd actually like do Silent Hill because Konami's such a fuckhead about their properties.
Oh yeah, that is very true. And the thing is, like, I honestly loved it when Mortal Kombat would do that all the time with like Predator,
oh yeah,
Jason,
that shit was dope.
Freddy.
Like fucking, anytime I played Mortal Kombat, I always played as Jason and Leatherface. Like I wouldn't play as anybody else except for Cassie Cage because she's fucking sexy.
Yeah, the games are obviously fun. That's why we also play them. But yeah, the characters add that.
We're not talking about Mortal Kombat. We're talking about Dead by Daylight.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Dead by Daylight. Sorry, we're going off the tangents. It's Ranger Rants again. Okay, so with all the guides and tips out there with Dead by Daylight, kind of like how any game that gets professional or competitive, because this game does have quite a competitive scene, right?
I mean, people like play competitively, but that's fucking stupid. You shouldn't.
Fair enough.
This game is not it's not meant fucking to be tournament ready. Like people like make tournaments for Dead by Daylight, and it's fucking stupid.
But it kind of is, yeah, when you think about it.
Because there's so much like RNG that can just like fuck you. Like a really popular Dead by Daylight streamer just like did a video. His name is Scott June. If you want to check out the video, he did a video that's like why RNG is like such a fucking piece of shit sometimes. Like 2 games where he spawned in like the same place because of like the RNG that like places like certain like loops as they're called in the game, like little places where you can go on a chase and like lead the killer around for a while. Just like wouldn't spawn in like one aspect. Like there's like one spawn where he got like 6 pallets on like one side of the map and like 0 on the other. And then he had another game where he had like 16 pallets on like the entire map. It was like ridiculous.
Do you think that's a good thing to keep the game like less competitive, to like deter people from being competitive for the?
I think there needs to be a little bit less RNG because sometimes you just get fucked and there's nothing you can do, and that's always frustrating.
It's more frustrating than most times, or do you find it's just like, well, at least this time it happened, but at least the game's just still fun all around? Like, how do you see it?
I mean, I don't think like getting fucked is ever like fun. But
well, you get to the point. Well, you play a lot, so you get to the point where like, oh, I know what to do, I know what to go for, like I know how to play the game, right? So I know.
I'm always having fun with a game, like no matter what.
Well, right, but so like but the thing is, you're so what's it called, familiar with the game that like when you notice the RNG way more than people who like me who just get into the game or playing just for on and off. So it's like when you notice how much the RNG can affect your experience because that's all you see now, because it's all you have to like pay attention to practically sometimes. It's like
I think being like super duper into the game definitely does like take a little bit of fun out of the game because it's like we said like last time we played it, like you're a new person and like killers that have like terror radiuses that tell you when they're coming, like you're still scared by that. But me, it's just like a meter that tells me how close the killer is to me. It's not scary at all.
Yeah, exactly. So your attention is taken away from that, and more then you notice RNG stuff more. It's like so, but for you, it's still like RNG happens, but I still love playing the game. I don't care.
Yeah, I still love the game.
Okay,
I just wish there was less RNG in it.
I literally had no idea RNG was a fucking thing in that game. I thought literally the map was the same
like anytime you see like a pallet, there's a good chance that that's like random like generated like pallet because sometimes that's not there on that map.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so obviously roughly around the same time, I'd say that Friday the 13th game came out. Did you even try that game? Because it is somewhat similar, but
no, I didn't. That game's a piece of shit.
Well, yes, it turns out to be somewhat of a piece of shit because it's obviously I imagine it's because it's too open ended and it's not really streamlined and not focused, doesn't really have a lot of builds. Like that's how I see it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's just dumb. They were like, let's make a Friday the 13th game, and they didn't really put any thought into it. They're just like, all right, we got Jason, and he needs to be Jason, and that's about the end of the discussion because the game's fucking dumb. Because he can just literally just like teleport on top of you, and then just kill you, and then like go into the next person, teleport on top of them, and kill them, and it's dumb.
Have you ever played it?
I've never played it. No, I just watch people play it, and I'm like, wow, this game sucks.
Yeah, because I've seen people play it and like it's buggy or annoying or it doesn't even look that exciting. But Dead by Daylight, it's small, it's tight, it knows what they're doing. It's like there's a reason it's easy to see why it's fun to play.
Yeah, people like, give the devs for Dead by Daylight a lot of shit, but like they're doing their goddamn best.
So what would you say about the game that people who've never played could get excited about it for? Like what would, if like you were trying to get me who never played, let's say, what would you tell me? Like
if you're really into like community-based like horror experience, then this is the game for you. There's no like AI monster that's like following you and that you can like abuse. It's always another player like trying their best to kill you or not get killed by you.
Of course, but I thought you meant like community, like you've been on like on the
community. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say community because honestly, the Dead by Daylight's community is not great.
I heard it goes all over the place because it's like horror themed.
Well, because there's like a little end game chat box at the end of every game, and like 90% of the time somebody's in there like being like, "Hey, you fucking asshole."
Okay, so with all we've talked about, is there anything you feel I missed out that you'd love to mention? Something you wish people would talk to you more about?
No, not really. I just wish more people would talk to me because usually I'm just like, hanging out. I'm lonely as shit.
Hey, come on.
I'm not beating myself up. I just want to talk to people more because I'm fucking usually just hanging out by myself.
All right, fair enough. If you want, all right, fair enough. Okay, so you have any questions for me?
Yeah. How big is your dick?
You have another question for me?
No, I'm joking. I'm fucking with you.
Oh, okay. Okay,
we're golden, baby.
With all you know today, is there any golden piece of wisdom, advice you feel that has helped you the most in life? Not even just, art and stuff.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do
Whatever
it.
you're thinking about, just do it. Like, stop fucking beating around the bush. You keep saying like you're gonna fucking do this when you're better at something, but the fact is you're never gonna think you're good enough to do that thing. So you should just try it now.
So turn off your brain and just do it.
Yeah, just do the thing that you want to do.
And what do you
Unless
think?
it's kill people, then don't do it.
And what do you think has helped you get to that point quicker?
I don't know.
Oh, you're still, yeah. To be fair, we're all still working on that type of thing. You know, just do it type thing. I think that's a big thing with most people. Even.
Yeah, it's hard to get motivated sometimes. You just gotta find what works what works for you.
Okay, fair enough. And so, as with every episode, would you like to take off your Peter Ranger mask, tell people your true identity, and let people know where they can find you online?
Oh yeah, sure. You can. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking drop my real name, obviously.
Well,
but,
obviously not, but you could show your
Yeah, no,
online
but-
alias. What's
But yeah,
go ahead.
I'm Skins McKenzie. You can follow me on Twitter at Skins McKenzie, and you can join my Discord. I think I have a link on my Twitter. If not, you can just DM me and I'll give you a link and you can check out my Discord channel and talk to me about art or Dead by Daylight or play Dead by Daylight with me, whatever. Because I'm always just hanging out by myself.
All right, thanks, Skins. I appreciate that, and now I can actually call you Skins. And yeah, all right, take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and see ya. Say take care, Skins.
Buy gold.
Buy gold. Wait, what'd you say? Buy gold?
Buy gold, bear your gold.
Oh, okay. I thought I misheard you. Okay, yeah. Buy gold, bury gold. Take care, everybody. Cheers.